What will the nation do if the population grows and there is nowhere for them to live? Everyone has the right to call a developed city home, but as cities grow, it becomes more difficult for individuals to get basic essentials. Ultimately, life becomes more difficult and costs of living rise, including rent for apartments and transport expenses. Even while it appears like China is in an impasse, that is not the case. How? In today's video, we're going to learn more about it. In this video, we'll talk about China's most cutting-edge building initiative, which will almost certainly end the country's population issue. We will also go into great detail regarding the initiative and how it would help China. Before we go on, subscribe to Chi News to watch about the most amazing world projects. Ready? Let's go on! With a staggering 1.4 billion people, China has 687 cities. More than 1 million people were housed in the majority of the cities, and practically all of these communities offer their residents the greatest and most advanced living circumstances. They provide amenities for residents as well as entrepreneurs with chances. The economy of China as a whole is significantly influenced by these cities. Yet this is the issue. China's population is constantly growing. The majority of individuals desire to reside in the most developed cities and provide their children the greatest possible living. As a result, the majority of families opt to relocate to impressively developed cities, much to how Beijing, the capital of China, was chosen. With nearly 21 million residents, the lack of housing became the primary problem. Therefore, it was hard to locate a space for less than $17,000 per square meter in 2021. But individuals continue to spend a lot of money on flats. It demonstrates that people have no choice but to reside in large places and spend a lot of money. China's GDP will suffer if many people are housed in a single city. For instance, excessive traffic last year limited the amount of time that vehicles could spend on the road, costing China's GDP $11 billion. China must thus resolve this problem to alleviate villagers' suffering. Where can these folks go, though, is the real question. They are unable to reside in developing rural regions. How can some people in China live in less developed rural areas if all the cities are futuristic? This is now an issue for China, which must be resolved immediately. Yet, if you believe that the only option for accommodating people is to let them live in rural regions, then you are mistaken. China always has plans, and this time it came up with a solution that will provide the country's citizens a better place to live while simultaneously giving the economy a huge boost. This problem's answer struck me as a brilliant one. What if a metropolis were to emerge in rural China, much as Beijing did? We are aware that it is difficult to develop all of the rural areas at once. But what if China manages to build only one modern metropolis in these remote areas? Prior to China getting started on it, this seemed like a ridiculous concept. With the goal of providing Beijing's non-essential operations with a new home, a plan for this new metropolis was put into action. It will be a major relief for Beijing, a large metropolis. A new economic center will be created as the strain is reduced. She presented her concept to the locals on February 10, 2015. He claimed that Hebei would soon have a new metropolis built. In April 2017, the Chinese government formally revealed the project and the city's name, Xiamen. The largest freshwater lake in North China will be close to the city. It will cover about 38 square kilometers in its initial phase. Just after the completion, the majority of the corporate, educational, and financial sectors will transition to show business. The second phase will then create a region measuring 198 square kilometers. The primary downtown area for Xiamen will be in this location. Here, a large number of structures will be built, including stores, parks, and hotels. This phase will also include the creation of the transportation sectors, such as train and bus terminals. The second phase will thereafter be the center of the city cluster zones. Following the creation of these zones, a 1,000 square kilometer region will be created surrounding the entire city to offer room for lakes, woods, and farmland. The settlements that presently exist in the vicinity of this 1,000 square kilometer area will be upgraded and connected to one another. In addition, after this project is finished, the volume of air that has been consumed in this person will reach its maximum. All of the information will be stored in an online database, and AI will control the flow of traffic. There will be operations for both the self-driving taxis and regular taxis. Since they will assist China in modernizing, These conveniences are being provided free of charge. In addition to this, it will make Xiamen a brand new economic and technical center. The high-technology industry will attract a large number of new technology enterprises, and ideally, many startups will get off the ground. The high-tech industry will provide 75% of the city's total economy, but that's not all it will do. Youngsters will also be considered to be mini vertical forums that begin with amazing technology and feed the metropolis with fresh food on a widespread basis. The establishment of a number of smaller parks will contribute to the overall prettiness and greenness of the city. The villagers of the neighboring towns and villages will become more appealing to young people after they have been modernized. The children's region will be covered in green for 70% of the map. In addition, given that the mode of transportation in question would be electric, its impact on the environment would be negligible at best. In addition to the operation of minor wind and solar power systems, the majority of the electricity will be provided by geothermal power plants. At the completion of the building, it is expected that the children would be among China's most livable cities. The city will have rail connections to other major cities in the region. A number of railroads will be constructed, which will allow Xiamen to become connected to major cities like Beijing. The total cost of this project to China will be $580 billion. In the region that will eventually become the city, there are currently more than 60 communities and 1 million people making their homes there. In December of 2017, the construction process got underway. By the year 2021, around 85% of the metropolis had been completed. The question that has to be answered today is how China as a whole will benefit from the establishment of this new metropolis. To begin, the city is large enough to accommodate various businesses that, in other major cities, would not have had enough capacity to survive. Also, it will propel technological development and creative endeavors forward. Because of the newly added train links, China's railroads will also get a better reputation among international travelers. The gross domestic product, GDP, of humanity is expected to reach close to $298 billion. The children will serve as a model for other endeavors of a similar nature. As a result of the competition, China will also acquire experience in developing livable, modern settlements in otherwise inaccessible locations. Construction is another area that will see a significant increase in the number of available jobs for local residents. The Chinese economy and the people of China will unquestionably see positive effects as a direct result of this move. In addition, there is not the slightest bit of doubt that this will be a major step forward. Do you believe cities can be built in rural regions in other countries? Or is it only China that is enabling a ridiculous yet brilliant idea? Although the project is challenging to construct, Chinese engineers are eager to take on this new challenge. Click on this video to watch about the most shocking China's project.